Abandoned on a deadly volcano, a Brazilian tourist's fight for survival ends in tragedy as shocking details emerge about her guide's alleged betrayal. What truly happened to Juliana Marins on Mount Rinjani will send shivers down your spine. Have you ever considered how the allure of breathtaking natural beauty can sometimes mask a terrifying, unpredictable danger lurking just beneath the surface? For countless adventurers, the call of majestic mountains, particularly active volcanoes, is irresistible. They promise panoramic views, the thrill of conquest, and a profound connection to the raw power of the earth. But what happens when that majestic landscape turns treacherous, when a moment of awe transforms into a desperate struggle for survival on a sheer, unforgiving face, exacerbated by the chilling allegation of abandonment? That's precisely the harrowing reality that unfolded on Mount Rinjani, Indonesia, where rescuers tragically found Brazilian tourist Juliana Marins deceased, amidst claims she was abandoned by her tour guide. On Saturday, June 21st, at approximately 6:30 a.m. local time, Juliana Marins, a 26-year-old Brazilian tourist, was trekking with a group near the crater of Rinjani. What has now emerged, turning this tragedy into a chilling indictment, are the family's claims that Juliana was abandoned by her hiking guide. According to her sister, Mariana Marins, Juliana had become too tired to continue and asked to stop and rest. Shockingly, the local hiking guide allegedly chose to continue on with the rest of the group, leaving Juliana behind. When the guide returned an hour later, noticing her prolonged absence, Juliana had vanished, having apparently fallen down a steep cliff. It's a gut-wrenching scenario. One moment, part of a group with a professional guide, the next, swallowed by the vast, unforgiving maw of the mountain, alone and vulnerable. What truly intensified this unfolding drama was the initial glimmer of hope. Rescuers on Saturday reportedly heard Marins's cries for help and believed her to be alive but in shock. Drone footage, later widely circulated by Brazilian media, appeared to show her sitting and moving in the desolate, gray volcanic soil hundreds of meters below the hiking path, approximately 1,600 feet down. This visual confirmation, however brief, fueled desperate efforts. But the mountain was a formidable opponent. Initial attempts to reach her by descending 300 meters were thwarted. Contact was lost. The cries for help ceased. By Sunday morning, thermal drones indicated she was no longer in the same spot, suggesting she may have moved or slipped further. By Monday, she was spotted again, confirmed to be stuck on a rock cliff about 500 meters deep and appearing visually motionless at times. This agonizing dance of brief sightings and lost contact became the cruel rhythm of the rescue operation, a desperate race against time that ultimately ended in tragedy. What stirred the pot of frustration and heartbreak for Juliana's family? They were thousands of miles away, relying on fragmented, sometimes conflicting reports, their anguish amplified by the perceived slow pace of the rescue and the shocking allegation against the guide. Her family had taken to social media, creating an Instagram account, #RescueJulianaMarins, to plead for faster action and greater transparency. A whole day and they had advanced only 250 meters below. They were 350 meters away from Juliana, and they retreated. One post read, articulating their desperate impatience. They vehemently denied initial reports from Indonesian officials that Juliana had been reached and supplied with food and water, with her sister Mariana stating, "The Indonesian government is lying, and the embassy is not verifying the facts before informing us. She is not receiving supplies." They also expressed dismay that the Mount Rinjani Trail remained open to tourists, even as their loved one was trapped without water, food, or warm clothes for days. Juliana's father publicly criticized the Brazilian government for what he perceived as a lack of involvement. The Brazilian Foreign Ministry later coordinated with Indonesian authorities, with embassy staff dispatched to Lombok. But for the family, every moment felt like an eternity. On Tuesday, after 4 days of intensive search, Juliana Marins was tragically found dead by rescue teams near the crater, her body located through thermal drones amidst the extremely harsh terrain. Her death was confirmed by both the Brazilian government and her grieving family. The efforts to retrieve her body from the difficult terrain continue. This is a story not just of a physical fall, but of a fall into the depths of a family's nightmare, played out under the indifferent gaze of a towering, active volcano, with the added sting of alleged negligence. No one knows the cruel dichotomy of Ranjani better than the seasoned guides and search and rescue teams, whose lives are intrinsically tied to this formidable peak. Standing at over 3,700 meters, Mount Ranjani, Indonesia's second-highest volcano, is a magnet for trekkers, drawing thousands annually with its stunning caldera lake, Segara Anak, and challenging summit trails. Yet beneath its serene beauty lies a perilous truth. Ranjani is an active volcano, and its terrain, while captivating, is notoriously treacherous. It's a place where loose volcanic scree, precipitous drops, and rapidly changing weather conditions can transform an exhilarating adventure into a fight for life. This inherent danger is tragically underscored by previous fatalities. A Portuguese man in 2022 and a Malaysian hiker just this May lost their lives after falls on its unforgiving slopes. Multiple agencies involved: the Mataram Search and Rescue SAR Office, the Ranjani Mountain National Park Office, the Indonesian military, TNI, police units, local disaster mitigation agencies, firefighters, and a host of dedicated local volunteers and experienced guides. Their efforts were heroic, but the mountain dictated the terms. Thick fog, a constant shroud around the crater, repeatedly reduced visibility to perilous levels, hindering both visual contact and the deployment of helicopters, which could only assist if the victim was at a safe, accessible location. The terrain itself presented insurmountable obstacles. Two large overhangs made anchor installation impossible at crucial points, meaning teams could not simply rappel down. Instead, a direct, incredibly risky climb down to her suspected location was the only viable, yet profoundly dangerous option. Rescuers emphasized the critical 72-hour window for increasing chances of survival, a deadline that Mount Ranjani relentlessly pushed against, ultimately claiming a life in this battle against the elements and the unforgiving geology of an active volcano, made all the more desperate by the circumstances of her being left behind. This heightened crisis, where a human life hangs precariously on the precipice of an active volcano, serves as a stark reminder of the inherent dangers of adventure travel, particularly in demanding natural environments, and the paramount importance of responsible guiding. Mount Ranjani, despite its allure, carries strict regulations. It is mandatory to have a licensed guide and a permit for the trek, and trekkers are strongly advised to be in excellent physical condition, carry appropriate gear, and be aware of the risks. Standard operating procedures for guides often stipulate specific guide-to-guest ratios, e.g., one guide per 4 or 5 guests, and emphasize listening to the guide at all times, but also, critically, the guide's responsibility for the safety and well-being of all group members. The allegation that Juliana was abandoned, if proven true, represents a grave breach of these professional duties and raises serious questions about tour operator accountability. Such incidents underscore the critical importance of staying with your group, heeding all warnings, and respecting the raw power of nature, but also the fundamental duty of care that guides owe to their clients in treacherous environments. What are your thoughts on this heartbreaking story and the allegations surrounding Juliana Marin's tragic death? If you found this story compelling and want to stay informed on similar cases, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth stories.